Hiya everyone! This video is going to be pretty personal. I think it's even as personal as I will ever go on YouTube. So if you stalkers dig that, hooray! If not, skip. This video is first and foremost meant for myself because, man, 2015 has been the craziest year of my life by far. I don't want to forget any of it. But I decided to share it with all of you guys too. So without further ado, I present to you my 2015. I think January is the only month in which nothing noteworthy happened. To give you a little insight on what I was doing in January, I was doing my study to become a veterinary assistant and I had a lot of fun. The people were very nice, the study was awesome, and overall I just had a great time. I spent the entirety of February and March and the bigger part of April as a trainee in a laboratory. This was one of my low points because I had to struggle to keep up and I wasn't doing great, to be honest. I had one day in a laboratory where I was a trainee at another department, and here I discovered that I liked the combination of working with animals and being scientific about it, because I have always had a liking for science. Also, there has been a situation in 2015 which was from somewhere around the end of February to the beginning of June. And from this situation, I learned a valuable lesson. If you're trying to become friends with your ex-boyfriend, here's one rule that you need to follow to make it successful. The number one rule is don't. March was a pretty nice month. On the 20th of March, I went to a Within Temptation concert, which I was front row for, and man, it was good. On the 24th of March is when the album from One Idol released, which is called Witches, and is a very, very, very good album, which if you didn't listen to it, go do it right now. On the 28th of March, I had a Delain concert and I was front row again. It was so great. It was so great. We were so close. Like, if we reached out our hand, we could basically touch the legs of the band members if we wanted to. We didn't, let's be clear, but oh man, it was so good. I held out my hand and she grabbed it and she sang a couple of lines to me. How great is that? And as for a lot of other people, but for me too, 2015 was about Life is Strange. Life is Strange was an episodic game. There are 5 episodes that have been released now, all of them. On January, the first episode was released. I didn't know Life is Strange back then, so when the second episode released in March, I started playing it. And all you Life is Strange fans know the end of episode 2? Crushing. You'll be hooked to it when you've played the end of episode 2. Enter April. As a good One Idol fan, I of course pre-ordered Witches. How couldn't I? The next thing may not seem like a big deal to you, but it is to me. You should know that I've never been really good at Facebook. I never really knew how it worked. I had an account, but that's about it. Somebody on Twitter pointed out to me that, if you like One Idol so much and you do so much for them, you should maybe join the Doll Heads group on Facebook. And I was like, what's a group? But anyway, I checked it out and the administrator added me to the group, and I did that when in the Netherlands it was like very late when I did that. So immediately after I added myself, I went to sleep. And the next morning I woke up and wow, so many messages were in my inbox, were on Facebook. My phone was full of notifications and I was like, what is this? And I started reading and people recognized me from YouTube. They knew that I made lyrics videos of One Idol. They knew that I was a big fan of One Idol. So I felt kind of famous, I'll admit. But the people were so nice and they were so welcome. If you are a fan of One Idol and you have Facebook, go add yourself to One Idol Doll Hats because that's the real deal. That's where you have to be. People share so much One Idol stuff and it's like a family. It's a really heartwarming, good, nice family. And I feel so much at home. It's crazy. I I am really thankful for the doll hats. So as I've said, I started a traineeship in a laboratory in February and it ended in April. And well, it ended on the 17th of April and the 20th of April I had another traineeship. So there was only like a weekend break. And I became a trainee at the local vet clinic as a vet's assistant. And man, I can honestly say that this is where I felt like I belonged. It was a great experience. It developed my personality so much, and I never wanted it to end. The people were great, and the customers were great. The animals, of course, were great. And I felt like I could truly be myself. And I think that's something very important. I wish I could go back. The month of May started off pretty weird. My dad has kind of like his own business with race bikes, and he he's not always the most practical man because he dropped a bike on his head. Yes, and well, he got like a quite a huge gap on top of his head because he's bald, so you could see it pretty well. And he needed to go to the hospital, and I went with him. It was quite busy at the time, and they told him that he didn't have a concussion or anything, but it needed to be stitched up because it was, I won't go into details, but it was pretty pretty deep. So they were going to stitch it up, and they tried to talk to him, but he wasn't very talkative, and so they started to talk to me. And so I told them that I was studying that, and I was in my last year, and I had finals coming up in a month. And they were like, "Well, you can help," and I was like, "Wow, what?" So I actually helped, like not just standing there and giving stuff, but really I had to hold things and I had to like pat the blood away, and actually genuinely helped. And I don't know if that's legal or not, but man, I sure enjoyed it. One Idol was bringing out a new album, Witches, but Kamelot was also bringing out a new album, which is called Haven, and I am also a fan of Kamelot, so I pre-ordered that album as well. And I got the biggest package, you know, the wooden box. I don't know, there are probably Kamelot fans listening to this, I don't know, but it's like a wooden box that was completely black and it was engraved with the Kamelot emblem. It was so pretty. It was like really neatly made. It was great. And overall, it was a pretty package. And also in May, Life is Strange episode 3 released. And I won't go into details because I don't want to spoil anything, but the ending literally blew everyone's mind. June was a pretty important month because I had my finals to become a vet's assistant. And I'm sad to say that I failed it. Surprise, surprise! Just barely, but I made it. In July, I got another chance to try at my finals for vet's assistant and I graduated and I couldn't be happier. It was, yay! Also in July, Life is Strange episode 4 released, and it started off really respectful and nice, and I liked that bit. And well, the entire episode was rad, and the ending is like super creepy and such a plot twist. August starts with this ridiculously awesome drawing that's been made of me by Federico Dahlman. Something incredibly big happened for me in this particular month. I have some videos of me commentating The Theory of Everything by Ayreon on my YouTube channel. By the time I had uploaded, I think 3 of the 4 videos, I got a comment on the first video. And that was not just any comment. I love all comments. Don't misunderstand, but this comment was by Arjen Anthony Lucassen. And this guy is not any guy. He is the producer, the creative mind behind Ayreon. He is the guy that basically made this album that I am commentating on. I read this at like 2 a.m. right before I wanted to go to sleep, and I was like, I can't sleep like this anymore. And I kind of freaked out on Twitter, and he saw that too, and he replied to that as well. And what? What? This is so big. I felt so honored that he liked my video. I still can't believe it. This guy is great. This guy is awesome. This guy is a genius. This guy is a musical god. And he said he liked my videos. And after a long wait, the music video that One Idol had been promoting for some time, Afflicted, finally released. And Afflicted is a great song of the album Witches, and what they did with the video is even more incredible. They showed the entire story basically of the Salem witch trials, and it was so good. It's so pretty. It's one of the best videos, if not the best music video I have ever seen. And if you have not seen it, what are you doing here? Go watch it! Following the fact that they had released a music video for Afflicted, and the fact that they were going on tour, a Halloween tour, One Idol did a interview with a radio station called Mosh Rising. And they had an option to call in via Skype. And I knew this was big because any show that they had been on, you would have to call with a phone or anything. And I don't live in the USA, so I was never able to call in or anything. So I hesitated for so long because I was so nervous. But then I finally did it. I called in, I got into the show, and I hang out with Kimberly Freeman and Jason Rufus Sewell of One Idol. And I was so surprised. She knew things about me. She remembered certain things that had happened between us, and it was such a good talk. And oh man, it was such a good interview. And this, I have always had, not always, but ever since I've known One Idol, I had this dream of wanting to hang out with Kimberly. You know, I'd prefer like a VIP session or anything, but that's not going to happen unless they come here. So this is probably as close as I could get. And I enjoyed every freaking minute of it, believe me. They were so nice to me. It was such a friendly atmosphere. It was great. It was awesome. After the great month that was August, we hop right into September. And September is the month that I started my laboratory study. And immediately when I started to study, I noticed that it was a tough study. You had, right from the first day, a gigantic amount of homework and a lot of stress. I think the third day or something that I started that study, something happened. I was crossing the street, and I am pretty sure that I looked left and right, and I had to cross 2 streets with cars and then a street with bikes. And it was very busy. It was very busy. It was in the morning, so and I crossed the 2 streets with the cars pretty okay-ish. and I was just thinking like, wow, it's lucky that I didn't get under a car or something. And I looked to the left and I saw no bikes, and I looked to the right and I saw a bike like 100 meters away. Like I saw a little dot in the distance, but you would think that if you cross the street, you would be quick enough to not get hit by someone that's so far away. But in the end, I think that she had an electrical bike, a bike that goes faster than usual, because before I knew it, she was right next to me, and I looked at her, and she didn't even try to hit the brakes. She didn't even try to swerve away from me. She just hit me full on. Like, I I really even can't remember that much of the whole situation, but I ended up somewhere else than I was standing a few seconds before that. So I think I flew a couple of meters through the air and I hit my head against the pavement. For some reason, I didn't get a concussion, but I was very close. The only reason that they are not calling it a concussion is because I haven't thrown up, and that's a sign that you have a concussion, and I didn't, so it's not a concussion officially. But I was very confused, and I was in really so much pain. At first, it was adrenaline, of course, so I didn't notice, but I was shaking. I was shaking so much, and I got into the school, and they sat me down, and I started to notice that wow, my body really hurts. My body really hurts. So they had to take me to the first aid, and they said that nothing was wrong with me, and I should just go home and not go to school for like a week or something, and take painkillers and that kind of thing, and just wait for it to pass. I did that. And I think I've been away from school for at least 2 weeks, maybe three, because the pain was so bad that like a few hours after I had gotten out of the hospital, I couldn't even walk anymore, and I couldn't even move my right arm anymore. And I was constantly dizzy, and I saw all kinds of lights and stars and stuff, and it was really bad. But I don't want to miss too much of school, because I knew it was a very tough study, like I told you, and that we had a lot of homework, like I told you. So I forced myself to go back to school. And even though I couldn't even walk properly, even though I couldn't even write, because the right hand is my writing hand, and that's the one that was hurting, the elbow at least. So I couldn't even write. Um, so I was just basically there to try to suck in as much information that I got in the lessons as much as I could, and just pray for the best. But yeah, it was very, very tough. And it took me, I think, at least a month. No, no, I remember that it was 6 weeks. 6 weeks or even more than 6 weeks before I finally walked a little normally, and my arm, I could ride again, and it was very, very tough. But even though September was such a bad month for me, one of the most incredible memories I have of my entire life happened in that month. Um, Two, actually. I went to the theater Equation, which was also by Ayreon. And it was the first time that they would perform their songs live, but it was a musical as well. And almost all the original cast members, all the original singers of the album The Human Equation were performing the songs of The Human Equation. The Theater Equation is one of the most incredible musicals I have ever seen in my life. It was so beautiful, and I enjoyed it so much. And afterward, Arjen Lucassen did a signing session, and I want to say I hesitated, but I didn't. There was just such a big crowd around this guy, and I couldn't even walk. But I went into that crowd, and when I got to him finally, he looked at me, and I can't tell, I didn't ask, I think he recognized me. So something, maybe he didn't know what, but he was so spontaneous to me, and I think he recognized me. And he signed my Theory of Everything album that I bought immediately after I did the commentary because it's such a good album, I cannot not have it. So he signed that, and then he took a picture with me. The other thing that happened in September, which is also a very, very incredible memory I have. I am part of the Dollheads group on Facebook, like I told you earlier in this video. And I made friends there, and the best friend there that I have is Federico Dalman, who also made the drawing that I showed earlier. And he knew about the whole situation, about me, that I was in an accident and I was hurt and I was sitting at home, not being able to do anything. So he went to Ben Dunbar, which is also a very, very big fan of One Idol and a very great guy. He had VIP sessions that he would go to. So Federico asked Ben if Ben could maybe do something for me, One Idol related. And the guy came through like you wouldn't believe. Federico one day asked me if I could get on Skype, and I was like, sure. So I went on Skype, and he sent me a YouTube link, and I was like, what is this? And it turned out to be a video for me, recorded by Ben, and it was Kimberly and Junior, mostly Kimberly, that wished me to, oh man, it's so emotional for me. She wished me to get better from the accident and that I would heal up soon. And she gave me an entire backstage tour for me, especially for me. And she asked Ben if she knew what my favorite song was, and my favorite song is Schizophrenic Man. And he knew that, so he told her. And she did an a cappella version of Schizophrenic Bomb, especially for me. And man, I cried so much when I saw that video. It's so sweet, and these guys are forever in my heart. They are so sweet, and the video, I treasure that video forever. It's on my YouTube channel. I asked Ben for permission, and it's on my YouTube channel now. So if you want to see that, it's something called My Tour. Backstage tour. You'll find it. You'll find it. It has the pretty Kimberly face as the thumbnail, so you'll find it. October started off pretty sad because I took my guinea pig out of the cage, you know, just to hug with him, and I discovered a bump. And I'm a certified vets assistant now, so I knew that it was, you know, bad. So we went to the vet and he confirmed what I already thought. And he told me that he has like half a year to live. So that was pretty sad. But then the moment arrived. For a few years now, I had two life goals. One was hanging out with Kimberly Freeman. I did that in August. My other one was to hug Tommy Karevik of Kamelot, because I am crazy for that guy. It just so happened that they had a concert in October in the Netherlands, and I was going there. And then they announced that they would have VIP tickets. And I bought those VIP tickets. So I went to the VIP of Kamelot in the Netherlands in October. And it was great. I was so nervous. My dad whispered in Tommy's ear, would you please hug her? And he was like, yeah, sure, man. And he looked at me and he was like, hey, do you need a hug? And I literally could have melted right then and there. And I said, yes. And then he hugged me, and man, that was the greatest hug of my life. It was great. Oh man. And then after that, immediately after the hug happened, they took a picture so you can still see the glee on my face. And oh my god. And that very concert, I was front row. So I saw everything very, very good. And it was a great concert. Also in October, the Life is Strange finale happened. Episode 5. And it came like a hurricane. And you Life is Strange fans will know the joke in that one. But oh my freaking god, it was scary, it was beautiful, it was tragic, it was great. And I'm so sad it has ended now. But seriously, play it. Just play it. Don't question it. Don't question it. Just play it. Trust me. You'll thank me later. And then we enter November, and on the 1st of November, it's Tommy Karevik's birthday. And I participated in a Tommy project that was done by Kamelot Lithuania. And I was a part of that. And it was a beautiful video, and I am very grateful to have been a part of it. And finally, after a lot of struggle, I finally decided to quit my study. I couldn't do it anymore. The accident had taken its toll on me. It was just too much stress and I was going completely nuts. So I finally chose for myself and I decided to quit the study. And as of currently, I'm still sitting at home trying to more mentally recover than physically, but I am trying to, get rid of the stress and just become myself again, basically. And for all of you who don't know, which is probably quite a lot, my birthday is on the 16th of November. So I have my birthday. And I got a lot of awesome presents. I didn't celebrate it this year, but, because I needed to recover and I didn't think it would be smart to go party like a rock star. So I took it pretty easy this year. 2 days after my birthday happened, I noticed that my guinea pig was breathing very heavily and he had trouble walking and he didn't eat anymore. So I knew what that meant. So the next day we went to the vet and she confirmed it, what I knew what was going to come. And we put him to sleep. Rest in peace. Well, then we entered December, the last month, and I had a class reunion with the schoolmates of my previous study, the vets assistant study. And although I didn't stay that long, and although I didn't eat that much, it was a lot of fun to see the people back because I had really, really missed them, especially since my new study that I had quit was very shitty. And I remembered how much fun the study was of the vet's assistant. It was good seeing them again. On the 20th of December, I went to Rhythm Temptations' Black Christmas concert. And wow, they had even hired actors to act as zombies and walk among the people. And they had people outside to entertain the waiting line because the waiting line was insane. Let me get that clear. It was insane. But yeah, it was a great concert and it was totally well done. On the 24th of December, I went to the Beauty and the Beast musical in the Netherlands. I always danced in front of the TV when that scene with the yellow dress came on and when I was a little kid and oh man, it was great. The musical was mesmerizing and so according to the movie and oh man, it was great. I was completely amazed and yes, it was magical. On Christmas, One Idol released a cover of My Favorite Things, which is a song from The Sound of Music. And Kimberly's voice is enchanting. I can't. Her voice is better than anyone's voice on this entire planet. It's great. It's so great. If you have a chance to listen to it, do it. Just do it. And with that very horrible, horrible reference, I'm going to end this video here. How was your 2015? Mine has been a whirlwind, as you know by now. I hope your 2015 has been great and your 2016 will be even greater. Bye bye!